would discuss area. What is the area? Say for example, there is any closed figure, okay? So the region, I am saying region enclosed within a figure, we call it as area. Your teacher must have told you the same, you must have read the same in the books. The concept is the same, but let us understand the essence. It is very simple. Region enclosed within a figure, closed figure is the area. Okay? Now, let us look into the areas for these three figures. The first thing that we would observe is that the figure is closed. Yes? Yes? Yes. Okay. So what would be the area for this figure? Definitely it would be the region enclosed within this. Okay. For this, we know that this would be the area. Similarly for this, we know that this would be the area. The area enclosed within these three lines would be the area for this triangle. Now, coming here, how do we calculate the area for rectangle? Simple. Area, or we can denote it as A, for the rectangle is calculated as the multiplication of its length and the breadth. That is L into B is the area of the rectangle. Similarly for square, area would be calculated as this multiplied by this. That is L into B basically. But here, or I would write it as, for your better understanding, I would write it as L into B. It remains the same, but here what is the length? It is A. What is the breadth? It is A. A multiplied by A becomes A square. Concept was the same. Length into breadth. Length into breadth gives us the area enclosed within this region of this figure. Closed figure. Now for triangle, a very unique thing you must have seen, like, let me rub this for your better understanding so that there is no confusion. Like, why is there this H drawn? Why couldn't we just multiply this with this or this with this and get it? Something very interesting comes here. That, see here in this case. If you want to see the height for this, what is the height for this rectangle? Basically this is the height. I would draw it here. This becomes the height. When we draw a perpendicular between these lines, this becomes the height, and basically we have considered this here, right? We did not know, but we considered the height here also. Here in this case, this A becomes the height for this. We have considered this A in the formula of area. Also, in the formula of area of the square also. But here in this case, since it was directly not obvious that what is the height, we have done one thing. We have put a line here to find that what is the height. So say for example, the height is H. So the simple formula for the calculation of the area of a triangle is half into base. That means base is the line on which this perpendicular is drawn. You have to be very careful. You might say that even this can be the base. Why have we not considered this as the base? Because the perpendicular is not drawn here. The perpendicular is drawn on this line. Therefore, this becomes the base. So, half base into the height. Okay. Now, let me take some examples with the real lengths of the figures. Now say for example, B is 5 centimeter and L is 2 centimeter. Okay? So the area of the rectangle would be L into B, that means 2 centimeter into 5 centimeters. Okay? So 2 cross 5 becomes 10. Centimeter into centimeter becomes centimeter square. Most important thing, open up your senses, see here that whenever we calculate the area, the unit always has a square. Once again, whenever we calculate the area of any figure, for any figure, the unit will have a square. It can be centimeter, kilometer, whatever it may be, but it will have a square. Now moving on to this figure. Say for example, if A was 4 meters, so this also becomes 4 meters each. A square is the area, so 4 square, or I would not write it like this, I would write it as 4 meters square, which will be 16, and also meter square unit. For the same, say for example, if base was 10 centimeter and height was 5 centimeters, we can say half base into height, which will be, you can cut it as like this, 5 cross 5 becomes 25 and centimeter cross centimeter becomes centimeter square. The unit is always in squares for the area calculation. Now moving on and seeing the area for the 2 to 3 figures that we've left, like parallelogram, rhombus. So here in this video, we have studied the perimeter and the area for certain figures. Okay. The cases of parallelogram, we would be the area of parallelogram, rhombus, we would be discussing in the next learning video. But here, the concepts should be clear that perimeter, the unit always will be a single, either centimeter, meter, kilometer, anything. There will be no square here, okay? But whenever it will come to the area, the units will always have a square. In any question, if you see, they have not even mentioned that it is the area, but if the unit is this square, you know that it is the area. This is one trick to understand, to find out whether the given term from a word problem, you know, when some word problem comes, you have to extract the information from there and then you have to make the equation and then solve. So, it is very important to identify whether it is the area given in the question or it is the perimeter. Simple rule, you see the unit, if it is square, it is the area. If it is single, it is perimeter. One more very important thing that we would discuss in the next learning video, but for your understanding, there is another thing, a concept called volume. The unit of this will always be in cube. So cube is 2 to the power 3, we call it as cube. Okay, when the power is 3, we call it as cube. Cube, C-U-B-E, cube. Okay, so whenever the power is in cubes, the unit is in cubes, it means that it is the volume. This we will study later. For now, focus on perimeter and area. Now do the worksheets which are being given to you, solve the questions on the exercises on Mindar. Do it from some books. Call us if you have any problem. Ask our expert teachers. and go ahead. It is simple and you can rock. Thank you.